He pushed me away to protect me. And I let him. That is the part one will never fully forgive myself for. After the email, Caleb was methodical about it in the way that only someone who has spent years building walls can be methodical. He ended the research assistantship in a formal email, CC'd to the department coordinator, citing a shift in the study's scope. He stopped making eye contact with me in class. He graded my work with the same exacting standards as always, which somehow made it worse. There was no cruelty in it, no coldness, just a man doing his job with absolute precision while something between us went very quiet. I went through the motions. I went to class. I sat in the third row like always and I took notes and I did not look at him any more than he looked at me. Mara sat beside me every single lecture and passed me coffee and did not ask questions, which was the most loving thing she has ever done for me. Weston, meanwhile, had gone quiet too. And that scared me more than anything. 3 weeks after the email, I ran into Claire. I did not know it was her at first. I was at the campus coffee shop on a Saturday morning, laptop open, not actually working, and a woman with dark hair and gray eyes sat down across from me uninvited and said, "You're Olivia." "I'm Claire Hayes. I think we need to talk." I stared at her. She had Caleb's eyes, the same gray, the same directness, but where his were guarded, hers were completely open. She walked with a slight limp, barely noticeable, and she had the kind of warmth that made you trust her before you had decided to. She said Caleb had told her about the forum post in the email. She said he had not told her about me specifically, but that she had figured it out because she knew her brother and she knew what it looked like when he was protecting someone he cared about. I asked her what he was doing about Weston. She got quiet in a way that told me I was not going to like the answer. He had agreed to a meeting with the department chair. Not to report Weston Caleb being Caleb, he was not going to weaponize the situation but to get ahead of it. To provide context for the payments before Weston could frame the narrative. He had submitted documentation, the history of his connection to my mother, the nature of the anonymous donation, a statement clarifying that the assistantship had been academically appropriate. The department chair had thanked him for his transparency and told him the matter was under review. And then, Claire said, the university's ethics board had opened a formal inquiry. Not because of Weston's email. Because in the process of submitting his documentation, a board member had flagged the combination of factors: private financial relationship, private office access, a student in his active course as a potential conflict of interest regardless of intent. Caleb was facing a formal review. His tenure could be affected. His research funding was frozen pending the outcome. I felt sick. Claire reached across the table and put her hand over mine. She said, he knew this was a possible outcome when he submitted that documentation. He submitted it anyway because the alternative was letting Weston control the story, and he was not willing to let that touch you. I left the coffee shop and I walked for a long time. Past the science building, past the library, past the bench outside the East Quad where we had sat one afternoon in October eating lunch from the campus cart and arguing about whether the data set needed a third variable. He had been right. I had conceded with bad grace and he had almost smiled. Almost. I sat down on that bench and I called Mara and I told her everything. All of it. She was quiet for a long time and then she said, "What are you going to do?" I said I did not know. She said, "Yes you do." She was right. I did know. I had known since the stairwell, probably. Maybe since the first time he handed back my exam with 2 pages of notes that were not criticism, I understood now, but instruction. Since every impossible standard that was actually him believing I could meet it. I knew what I had to do. I just did not know yet if I was brave enough to do it. That night I opened my laptop and I started writing. Not an email. A formal statement to the University Ethics Board, requesting the opportunity to submit testimony on behalf of Dr. Caleb Hayes. If he was going to walk into that fire, he was not going to do it alone. I hit send before I could think about what it would cost me. And then I went to find him. I went to his office. The door was open. He was inside, and he was not alone. The department chair was there, and so was Weston, and every single one of them turned to look at me when I walked in.